I got the wrong background. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Ready for some News AF here for May 11th. I'm going to switch to the proper News AF background here. The world. That's what we focus on really here on News AF. How's everybody doing this morning?
I am good. My neighbor just called me, the one that gave me the lion painting. I had to message him and say I'm recording my podcast right now. It could be something about leaving my trash can out overnight because I put it out yesterday for the garbage.
What's going on there? It's like that he thinks you're dead, or it's like that's not allowed?
No, that's not allowed, but that's not why he would call. He's probably calling because something funny, because we have a single guy that lives across the street from us. He's like, divorced not too long ago, and yesterday, like 3 days ago, there was a Dodge Charger, like a red Dodge Charger, parked in front of his house because he always has these girls over that he meets at motorcycle bars.
Cool.
And the license plate on this Dodge Charger was NAW space T1.
Naughty one.
Naughty one.
Yeah.
So me and my other buddy just had a great laugh over that and thinking that it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. That is cool.
Yeah.
Danny, would you ever get a vanity license plate?
I read once that vanity license plates make you a target.
For what? The police?
Robbery.
For criticism on podcasts.
You don't
Bryce
want one.
That was Bryce. That was his car.
Bryce, that was your car, naughty one?
Yeah, just driving through.
Bryce, I saw this woman do the walk of shame from the front door to the passenger side of her car for some reason and sit in the passenger side, and it wasn't you, because I'll recognize you anywhere.
By the way, Danny, I know you've been watching The Circle. Bryce has an interview up today with Emily, aka Jack from The Circle, on the latest episode of the Purple Pants podcast.
And I believe they're friends in real life.
Yes,
as well, right?
Yeah, so, they went to South Africa together.
What? Man, the life Bryce is living. Just all these superstars everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, look, he knew Jack before he was a catfish.
Man. And now Jack can never know who his real friends are because he will never. He'll assume everyone's a catfish.
Yes. Yeah.
So got in early. Good for you, Bryce.
You ready for News AF?
Let me hit record.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Danny, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Oh, I'm fucking ready.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back again to talk with you about the week's most interesting news stories here for the week of May 11th, 2021, here on News AF.
If a story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Yes, that's right. News AF is here, and we got a bunch of new news stories to talk about here with our News AF team. First, let's welcome in Pickleball's top influencer and Dave Ramsey harasser. Here is Tyson Apostle.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, whoop, whoop is right. I've been having a hard time because if I want to see all Dave Ramsey's content, I have to follow him on Facebook, which I do not want to do. Mm-hmm. So I have to go to his page at random increments to see what I can post about. And I have to say I kind of dropped the ball this week a little bit. I might have gotten him once, but I don't really remember.
Okay.
But a lot of his stalwart followers are unhappy with me.
Because you're not taking it serious?
Because I'm not taking it serious. Or because they're like, oh, this is, this helped a lot of people. I was like, yeah, but it's all common sense. It's like none
not
of
common
it is
sense to them.
I would say maybe it's tough love. People need to hear tough love.
They need to hear tough love?
Yeah, of like, you can't afford it. Stop spending your money.
Yeah, that's it. And that's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like... Yeah, and I get it, but and maybe a lot of people need to hear that. I tell myself it sometimes, but like I'm fine telling myself it.
And you could also
Mhm.
say that
So-
maybe some of your jokes are helping people.
I think so. I think they are, because then you're realizing, you know what, money isn't everything. You may as well spend it.
Mhm.
And even if you can get a large enough line of credit, you may as well spend that too, because you only live once, as far as we know.
Yeah.
And
So far.
so far.
Yes.
So
Let's say good morning to Danny Bryson. Danny, how are you?
I was just thinking if I took Tyson's financial advice and acquired all this debt and then I died, but my consciousness without my permission was then transferred to a robot
mhm.
by my creditors. And then I was,
wow, this is the plot for like a great science fiction film.
I'm sure it's been done before.
I
but
don't
I'm
know.
like,
I don't think that. I mean, this is like a great Black Mirror episode.
you're
if
like,
anything.
yes,
So
I'm
if
dying.
you die
Yeah.
with substantial debt,
Yeah.
so I guess your body is done, but then like they take your consciousness
and you
and
think
say,
you win. So you're
not so fast. Go to the
You do-
galactic salt mine. You're going to
you
pay
do
off
an
your
ex-
debt. You're
you do an
mining
exotic
for
bombing.
Bitcoin or
Yeah.
Dogecoin now for
Yep.
the rest of until you pay off your debt.
yeah. And you get an exotic
wow.
embalming, like giving the bird to your, the people you owe money to, because you
Mhm.
think you've made it. You got to the end. You lived the life you wanted.
Mhm.
You left your children and your wife, who's the one that signed the papers to have your conscience transferred, because she's like, oh no, I'm not taking on this debt.
I mean, for the record, this is like every Black Mirror episode, but I don't
Yeah.
think they've done this specific one of that the credit card companies are going to, hey, that Danny Bryson owes us $492,000. He's going to the Ethereum mine.
or a sex robot, or any other number of robots that need a consciousness to seem more human, and that's where I'll be trapped until my debt
Work
is
off
paid.
your debt.
So Tyson, I think you're being a little reckless in this day and age, suggesting that you just go out and acquire all this debt because you only live once. Because what if right at the time you die,
Yeah.
you suddenly get a second life?
Tyson, what should Dave
I mean-
Ramsey maybe consider this new line of like, look, you think you're gonna die and get away scot-free with this debt, but right now in Silicon Valley, they're inventing ways that when you pass, guess what? You're going to the Dogecoin mine.
Yeah, but the thing is that even though you're going to the Dogecoin mine, you are a robot. So you just put it into hyperdrive. You're done settling your debt.
No. Here's the thing:
No,
the
it's
robot will do what the robot will do. You're trapped inside, and you have to live. It's like a prison sentence. You're
See,
just-
I
so
thought
you're
it's
just peering out from the so it's like there's certain places where you go and humans just have dead expressions on their faces, and you're just you're trapped behind those eyes watching their life unfold.
I thought it's more of a virtual existence. You are like living on like in the interwebs, mining for cryptocurrency.
You get to go watch the Tron races every 6 weeks as a reward.
Yeah. Okay. Either would be acceptable.
Mhm.
All that matters is that you suffer for that money you borrowed.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Listen,
death is
you'll
the way
pay
out.
one either now or you could pay later, Tyson.
And I'd always choose to pay later. I don't know. I think
That's the
Pay later.
human way.
Yep.
And I'll be looking down from the pearly gates, just laughing and laughing. Have your fun now, pickle boy.
I think this is Rob's favorite impersonation to do.
That's the new one. I like to try on a new one.
Yeah, it's really good. You should.
Mhm.
How many more do you need before you can try out for Saturday Night Live?
I don't know. I'm gonna work on so many more before I
Okay.
can make the cut there.
Yeah.
They're firing on all cylinders right now. All right. Anything else new going on before we talk about some news?
I
No,
used jackhammer for the first time yesterday.
nice.
Yes.
It was,
How was that?
What were you busting up?
rocks, breaking rocks.
At the
Just
ranch or at your
getting-
house?
Training for that post-life rock breaking, debt paying life. At my house, I have a bunch of landscaping rocks. I couldn't conceive of any other way of getting rid of them other than reducing them to a size that I could actually carry on my own.
Yeah.
So,
you know what I would have done? I would have hired somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I'd rather spend that money. I would have spent.
Did you put 'em up
hiring
for
someone
sale?
on something else? What, the rocks?
Yeah.
These were rocks. Okay. Hey, let me sell you some rocks you could go get from the mountain. But Also, you're going to need
No,
a backhoe. You're going to need a
can't get rocks
backhoe.
from the mountain. That's stealing.
You're going to
hire
need
somebody-
a backhoe. You're
Uh-huh.
going to need a giant trailer and a truck. These were not small rocks. These
Yeah.
weren't rocks that you can just pick up, Tyson. You need a backhoe. Not even
Uh-huh.
a bobcat could pick it up.
Yeah, and how do you think they got there, and who do you think put them there?
Oh,
in the
I
first
know how
place?
landscaping works, but look,
Okay.
I don't have time to do all of that or deal with strangers.
That's
So I
what I'm-
went and lived my childhood dream of operating a
Okay.
jackhammer.
Jackhammer.
I mean, I lived that dream when I was 12. But what I'm telling you is, you could have probably sold those rocks for
So
hundreds of
here's the deal.
dollars a
Hey,
piece.
guy, here, let me tell you how this awkward exchange would go. Hey, dude, I'm selling you these rocks. So I'll sell you these landscaping rocks, let's say $500. Guy's
A
like,
piece.
okay, I have a backhoe and I'll come and destroy all your sprinklers, drive over your front lawn, smash your bushes, do all this damage, create an awkward situation
Mhm.
to get these stupid rocks, probably cause more damage than I'd make in
Mhm.
selling them. I am curious, Tyson. Go ahead and sell some rocks and tell me how well that works out. Run over my lawn. I mean, there was no way to get to some of those rocks without driving around my lawn. So,
A crane,
no, I think
Mhm.
your idea is
a
going to
helicopter.
cause more
Have you ever
anguish.
a helicopter? Maybe.
Yeah, It's going
maybe
to
a
cause more
helicopter?
problems than a jackhammer for 3 hours. So
3 hours of jackhammering. dude.
3 hours of jackhammering,
Dude, that's your longest you've ever gone, probably.
without a doubt.
Tantric,
Mhm.
huh?
Yeah, dude, here I
Mhm.
could not have gone to the jackhammer was a rental, so there was no stopping. It was just like one continuous jackhammering event.
Mhm.
My shoulders are just so.
Did you?
so
Why didn't you
exhausted.
live stream that, dude? You're out here like, oh, how do I get more followers and more views? All the while, it's right under you every time, and you're unwilling to
Right.
share with the masses what they really want. You with your shirt off, slow motion jackhammering, in reaching a tantric state for 3 hours, sweat
There-
dripping down your torso.
No tantric state. I wish I could have summoned the ability to go inside and just become one, but it
Whoa.
was. You can't do that with a jackhammer. You got to
Uh-huh.
you got to pay attention. The couple times I was like casual with the jackhammer's like, oh, he's not paying attention.
Let's
Let's
dig into the
suddenly-
ground and make it
let's
hard
dig-
for him to extract what we are
Yeah.
going to get into here.
Or like, let's bounce off this rock. And yeah, it was just, you have to pay attention. All hands on deck when operating a jackhammer, especially in the early moments of trying to make that little groove that it can sit in. Full
Yeah.
concentration, more concentration than I've had to do in a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we have guys driving rocks around in the truckloads offering them for sale, and that's what you get.
Oh, when
Mhm.
when the rock man comes down the street and he puts
Yeah.
on the music and calls everyone out to come buy some
We really
rocks.
do have a rock man, and he rang the doorbell when we moved into our house, and he's like, "Do you want these rocks? There's a ton of them. I'll sell you the whole truckload for $1,200. That's half the
You were
price you're
just
going to get
telling
them."
me I could get tons more money from my rocks. You were like $1,200 for
A truckload was
of
like
rocks.
a truckload was like 5 big rocks
I have 7
on a
big
flatbed.
rocks.
So he was
Mhm.
going to sell me like for 1,200. I was like, he's like, this is half the price you'll get at landscaping. I was like, well, to tell you the honest truth, I have never priced out rocks. I don't know if you're telling me the truth. I don't know what the going rate for a boulder is. I know none of this. And he's like, I'll give them all to you for 700 right now. And I was like, and then you'll place them. And he's like, no, I'll dump them in your front yard. I was like, and then they're just sitting there. He's like, until
Yeah,
your
exactly.
landscapers come and move them. And I was like, I don't want those. He's like 700. And I was like, he's like 700. That's a third of what you're going to pay at a landscaper. I was like, again, I have never researched the price of a
Sounds
rock.
to me.
Did you want rocks?
No, I didn't want rocks at all. It's just a new neighborhood. So then finally the exchange ended with him saying, fine, have a nice life, guy. And I was
Wow.
like,
And you did.
Aggressive
and I
rock,
did.
dude.
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude,
I
first
did.
of all, you've proven
Don't
my
mind if
point.
I do.
The price of rocks is plummeting. I'd be lucky if I get people to take my rocks for $25.
That's
No,
true.
Danny, the rocks are skyrocketing. The supply chain
There's
is
a
all
fucking-
out of
giving up-
whack.
Not
A
right
fucking
All
now.
out of
no.
whack. Yeah.
And the guy, DePete, asked where the rocks came from. They came from a quarry on the other
Mhm.
side of Arizona, supposedly.
All
And
the
he-
commodities
yeah.
are spiking. Rocks are through the roof right now.
Well,
Yeah.
if anything, I've like quadrupled my investment. I've broken them up into smaller rocks that I can now sell for the same price.
Oh, so what you? Yeah, I see what you did.
Diversify.
You subdivided. Yeah. You
So,
subdivided your
if
rocks.
anything, I'm the genius here. Now I'm going to have to put them in the back of my truck and drive around new neighborhoods. Hey, would you like to buy some rocks? I've got some sweet rocks in the back.
$700 for my rocks. Come
Normally,
on.
these rocks are like $5,000. I'll give them to you for $500.
Mhm.
Hey, your landscapers will have to move them. All I'll do is roll them off the back of the truck onto the sidewalk.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tyson,
So-
don't tell me that I could just don't
Hundreds.
sit there and lecture me
Hundreds.
on selling my rocks and then tell me the rock story you just did.
I'm telling you that guy left this neighborhood with an empty truck.
Okay, big rock
And he
debate.
came back. And he came back multiple times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People
Well-
are buying these rocks, dude. A good rock, dude, they are hard to come by. And if you get a good rock, you do not want to jackhammer that because guess what? That rock isn't forming itself again.
Let me
You're
also
done.
say something about these rocks. 3 of the rocks were rock hard.
Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah,
But
and what
4
were
of the other
rocks?
rocks would have fallen apart because they'd been in the yard for 22 years,
Uh-huh.
suffering thaw, refreeze,
Okay.
hot temperatures. They would have fallen apart. So right then he'd been like, I can't take these rocks. These are broken rocks. I'll pay you for the 3. I'm not going to fix any of the sprinklers I just busted trying to get these other rocks or the bushes I smashed or the lawn I destroyed, but I'll pay you $50 for these 3 rocks here. So I feel like it would have been not a great deal.
Well,
But I'll keep my
what
eyes
about
peeled
this?
for more rocks to sell.
I don't know how many people know this, but Rob is moving out of his current situation right now.
Yeah.
Does he
And
need rocks?
He probably would have loved to have some rocks
If a rock
gifted
guy
from
comes by, I
Danny.
might
Yeah,
have
if a
to-
rock.
to hear
now
what he's
gonna have to
offering.
spend money, but I had a little life hack for Rob
Yeah,
because
it's
he's
a moving
starting
hack. You
a
promised.
moving hack. I promised him, and that is that if you can get in touch with the Mormon missionaries, express interest in joining the church, and
Yes.
then have the entire congregation come and do the moving and packing for you out of service.
Yes.
And here's the best part. Those missionaries, since Tyson and I have both done this,
Uh-huh.
they will see that as a great day because the alternative is so much worse as a missionary that actually moving someone out of their house is awesome compared to
what
knocking
would
on
the
doors.
alternative be?
Knocking on doors
Strangers' doors.
or talking to people in the street. I was a big fan of helping people clean their house, do yard work because the alternative is so much worse.
But it's like quid pro quo, right? Now that if you help
Oh,
me
yes.
move,
Now you're on a list,
Yeah.
Rob. You are
Yeah.
on the list.
but
But
you
you're
help me
moving.
move, and then
You're
I don't
moving.
join the church. Like it's gonna be a lot of like, hey, what gives?
No,
Yeah,
it's
but
fine.
you're going somewhere else, so you can disappear. You get the sweet moving. Honestly, if a guy asked me to move when I was on my mission and then just disappeared, all the better. And I don't have to talk to
Mm.
him again. Plus,
Yeah.
I got out of doing real work or
Yeah.
missionary work. It's a win-win for me.
But they
I'm-
don't have connections in the next city where then they put a call in and then you
Oh, you
get
just give
like,
a
They
fake
could, but you
name.
don't give the real
yeah,
address.
just give out
Yeah.
some fake info.
Just give a different
Hmm.
address, or tell them that the address is none of their business.
I cleaned
Mhm.
out a hoarder's house, and the things I saw and touched when cleaning up his house have stayed with me. But it was still better than
Yeah.
talking to strangers on the street.
Well, it must be tough for a hoarder to move.
Yeah, he wasn't moving. He was like, I want to get rid of some stuff.
Oh, okay.
And
Did he get
so-
rid of any of it or no?
No, he did. We helped him get
Wow.
rid of a lot of stuff, but there were like spaces that contained disposable and non-disposable things that had been gathering for years. I'm sure if I was to go back now, I would request like a biohazard suit, but as
Mhm.
like a naive 19-year-old in Scotland just trying to get out of talking to strangers on the street, I'm like, I'll pick this up. Just give me a pair of garden gloves. This is
Mhm.
great. And you know what? They'll help you move and then just give them bad information. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I really do believe they'll be like, yeah, that's better than having to make phone calls or
They're
whatever
gonna
they
love
have
it, dude. So,
to do. And they can feel great about themselves afterwards.
and you'll feel great because they'll feel great, and it's just like the circle of life, dude. So, anyways, that's the life hack for anybody out there. If you want to, just get in touch with the Mormon missionaries. They'll bring the whole congregation over. You might have to go to church once or twice.
Or eat
Mhm.
some Rice Krispies.
Yeah, but
What do you
You're
do with the
pretty-
Rice Krispies, Danny?
you have to
Uh,
eat them.
That's just a joke.
Oh.
They're always cooking Rice Krispies and being happy.
I mean, it's
Like
not
like
Rice
South
Krispie
Park
treats?
yeah. You like
Okay.
Rice Krispie treats?
They're fine.
Like
You're
you
gonna be
can't, you
okay,
shouldn't give in to Tyson's life hack unless you feel comfortable lying to a bunch of
Yeah, I'm good.
dope-faced
I
young
think we
men.
got
to
this.
to a
We
bunch of
got
people
this.
who believe that lying is a great sin.
Yeah.
Which it is. I wouldn't lie either. Not even on a reality TV show.
Did
All
you
right.
never lie on Survivor?
Ever. No.
Oh, wow, good.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Work. Hall
Just
of Fame stuff there.
stuck to my morals and everything worked out.
Well, let's get to some of our news stories, and I guess let's start with a few studies here today. Always a
again,
crowd pleaser.
These
Yes?
are taken by survey people, right? So these studies
Well,
are
not all.
Not
Yeah,
all?
that's this is a study, and then we'll go to we'll do some surveys. But study this is a famously in 1993, a British anthropologist by the name of Robin Dunbar theorized that humans could not have more than 150 meaningful relationships. That became known as Dunbar's number. That I know Malcolm Gladwell has talked about this. The human brain is only capable of processing 150 meaningful relationships. But I think that probably people say, well, hold on. How is that possible? I have 3,000 Twitter followers.
That's right. And I have probably about 75,000 meaningful relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Rob makes a good point about why this study has been updated by another study in Sweden. And that is because the world has changed.
The world's changed. It's not 1993 anymore, baby.
Nope.
That's right. Because now researchers are theorizing that people could become a lot better at having more than 150 meaningful relationships if they put in the work.
It's like, duh. You know, if I had someone who'd followed me around with, you know, the names of people as I talked to them and their background information, I could keep a lot more friends.
Yeah.
I mean, my number is actually
Talking about
closer to
phone?
25.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can't take your phone out.
I remember
like-
everybody's name. That's my problem is that I'm just like too good at being a friend.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? You're too good at being a friend?
Yeah, I remember everybody's name. I remember everybody's background.
Oh, well, yeah,
That's
you're the
superpower.
You're the reason they had to redo this study.
I am. I think I'm actually the only one. They were just like, there's one person on the planet who debunks this entire thing with his network of friends.
Someone who
And-
knew you was
Yeah.
like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
This man has more than
I have
100.
to call a scientist and report him immediately.
That'd be awesome. Report your friend to a scientist. And
Yeah,
you feel like
so-
they kind of break the mold.
I'm going to be on the. There's a character on the next Marvel movie that's
Yes.
Friend
patterned
man.
after me. Friend man.
Friend
Has-
man.
Yeah, has 600 friends.
He befriends the
meaningful.
villains and turns them.
Meaningful friends. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
his.
Yeah. That's the supervillain, is the one person that you didn't become friends with. That
I
you
could
couldn't
not,
remember their
yeah.
name. That's
Yep.
your arch nemesis.
Or
But-
pretended to forget their name or make a
Yeah.
joke about them being on the Dingus tribe on their
Mhm.
season of Survivor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the operative word here, though, is meaningful, because I feel like that I definitely know more than 150 people. Like
Yeah.
how
Name
far
'em.
down is I'm not gonna name 150 people, but I could name 500 some odd Survivor players,
Yeah.
and most of them I've met, and I could tell you like something that happened, when I met them or talked to them. So
Yeah,
how do you define meaningful, Danny?
I think Dunbar refers to it as meeting someone and not having an awkward exchange. He says he tells a story in here about bumping into someone at random and not having a weird, awkward exchange with them. That you only have 150 people who you can bump into and have a pleasant conversation and have everybody leave feeling good about
But that's
the
not
whole
fully correct, too,
experience.
because even in your inner circle, Danny, of 25, it's almost always awkward.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes not always smooth sailing.
Yeah. Okay.
But look, the other thing is the 150 is an average. I think
Uh-huh.
they said it was somewhere between 100 and 250. That doesn't average out, but you know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a number they found in the middle. The average person can have 150 good
Tyson's
friends.
bringing up the number.
Yeah, and that's the problem is Tyson's an outlier, and they saw him probably from Survivor and the internet, and they're like, you know, we need to reconsider Dunbar's number, because you've got people like Tyson, you got the internet, you got Facebook, you got Instagram.
Does
We
make
got to
it
look at
easy.
this again.
Yeah. Dunbar also contends that his theory is still viable even in today's hyper-connected world, because he says that the quality of connections on social networks is often low. These are not personalized relationships. So
Yeah, he seems
looking
pretty-
down on these social media
He
relationships.
doesn't want people to have many meaningful relationships.
That's how many
in his
he
life.
had. He's like, this is the number.
Yeah,
No
this is
more,
the peak.
no less.
No more. Yeah,
He
people.
seems way too upset about this new research.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think he might not be a scientist. Because of how
He
defensive he's
just wants people to think that he actually has the maximum number of friends a person can have.
That's
and
it.
So yeah, that's it. I've done the max.
The
and
club
you-
is closed.
Yeah, you can't have more, even if you try. And I know that because I am the world's greatest friendster.
Imagine when this number came out in 1993 and you had a list of 200 of your best friends. You loved all of them, but you knew
Cut
you had
50.
to cut it down.
Yeah.
So now you had to rank everybody on the list and then cut out that bottom 50. And it was probably a really sad day for a lot of social people who were like, I
Yeah.
gotta cut you loose, man. I
Mhm.
don't
And
feel
now-
as comfortable.
The modern, and that you used to have to do either through a voice call or face to face. And now you just get those texts every 5 years from somebody who's just like, hey, cleaning out my contacts, just wondering if you still want to be a contact in my phone.
Somebody
Like-
sent you that
Nobody
message?
does that. Who does
I mean,
that?
it's not exactly like that, but it is like just cleaning
You've
out my
received
contacts.
a
Just
message
no,
like that.
yeah, multiple times from multiple
Wow.
people.
And so what's the point there? It's just basically like they have a number in their phone and they don't know who it is.
No, they're cleaning out their contacts for people that they will never contact again in their life. And then they text people who they haven't contacted for a while, but are keeping in their phone. So they don't tell the people they're cutting that they're cutting them, I don't think. But they are like, hey, I'm just cleaning up my contacts. And
Wait, it's just like you made
good
the
luck,
cut.
You made the cut. Yeah.
Wow, lucky you,
Yeah.
Tyson. He's just
What-
reminding you
what
that
a-hole is doing this.
Lots of them.
Lots of a-holes.
we need
Let's
names.
hear it in the chat. Let's hear it in the chat if you've
Yeah.
ever gotten something like that.
Are these people all former reality TV contestants?
No. And I
Oh,
think
interesting.
I think they've done it. They do it on Facebook too. They trim up their
I've
friends
seen
lists
that
and stuff
Facebook
like that.
status message.
Yeah.
Like, hey, just to let you know, I cut down my friends list. If you're seeing this message, you made the cut.
Yeah.
So survey people shows that 1 in 3 have received a text message informing them that they've made the cut on the
I've
sender's
never
One in
contact.
gotten
three.
that message.
That's
I-
Tyson.
I've
33%.
never
There's-
made the cut.
3 red-blooded Americans here,
Mhm.
and one of us has gotten that text multiple
Yeah.
times.
Well, makes sense that Tyson
be
is
Tyson.
making everybody's cut. Me and Danny are like, who needs to talk to those losers?
Yeah. Faith in the
They're so
chat says
cranky.
this is a thing.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's so-
I
it's
am
so
blown away.
miserable.
Maybe
Yeah.
only social people get those messages because
Never
like
gotten
Rob
that
just said, Rob and I are an easy one. It's like, oh
We're-
no, delete. But they're like,
Never
Tyson,
talk,
that
never
guy's
talk.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Huh, I'm gonna keep him, but I'm gonna let him know I kept him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send him a
Tyson,
message.
that guy's a party.
Yeah,
Got to keep him around.
Yeah.
he
but I
has
gotta
a
let him know.
tuxedo shirt.
Yeah. Try and rekindle what I had
Mhm.
with him.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a thing. And so there you have it.
Count your
Congratulations.
friends, Tyson. Let's see how
Well-
many you have. Do that, between now and next time, because my kids count their friends almost every day.
My
Mhm.
sister in high school came home one day and told me she's more popular currently in high school than I was when I was in high school, because she had and she listed and she said a number of friends, and I said I don't care.
Yeah.
The saddest part
I think
of
I
this
laughed
article,
and said I don't care, and it was quite the conversation.
the saddest
but
part of this
now-
article, by the way. Oh,
Wait,
sorry, Tyson,
Danny.
go ahead. Sorry, I thought
Now I'm more popular with her high school friends than she is. That's
Oh.
ironic. It's
Well,
because I was on
naturally.
TV. Yeah,
you're a 250 to 300 friend guy
at minimum.
minimum, like on a
Yeah.
bad day. But what I was going to say is the saddest part about this article. It talks about how you trend with
Yeah.
your friends,
Mhm.
and you start off with just hopefully two friends when you're born, your mom and dad, and then
Yeah.
that number increases. It peaks in high school, or this is how
Yeah.
it used to be. Tyson's obviously still peaking.
Mhm.
And then it gradually goes down. It says by the end of your life, you're back to 1 or 2.
Yeah.
This just seemed really sad. Like
It's a
I
bell curve.
peaked in high school, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
Tyson,
Mhm.
again, outlier. He's still climbing like exponential. It's going straight up.
Exponential friends. Yeah.
friends
Where is
list.
the peak? At what age is the peak usually?
It just
Does it
says your
say?
teenage years.
Teenage years. Okay. Yeah. That's crazy. Mine's still climbing.
Still going.
Yeah.
And it
Wow.
makes
Good for you,
sense
Tyson.
because remember, everyone would be like, how many? This is early days of Facebook.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, I've got 50 Facebook friends. But people who are in high school by default had like 300 to 500 high school friends. And then
Mhm.
all the people who are out of high school when Facebook came about, they're like, oh, I only have like 30.
Mhm.
And I think that's a pretty good example of,
yeah.
you just kind of got the high school bump.
Yeah. Dave Kershaw in the chat says, I must be at the end of my life. He looks pretty young. Maybe he's at the beginning of his life.
Beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of end of life, this is another study that we want to get into. It's about the effect of feeling young. Because that is, turns out, a bigger indicator than your actual age in terms of people and how they are holding up as they age. This is a theory that someone's subjective age provides more insight into their health and wellness. What do you think about that, Danny?
I like it. Right here at the beginning, it says you're only as old as you feel. That's the mantra that these young old people live by every day. They probably chant it in the mirror. And I kind of agree with that. I feel like people who complain about age, they do age faster. If not like physically, just talking about it all the time makes you not want to be around them, kind of like you don't want to be around old people anyway.
Oh, dude. My
Oh.
grandma at one point was just like, you'd go over to her house and it was just like, she'd just list the people who were dying.
Yeah,
I'd
and you're
just
like,
be like-
you are old. And if
Yeah.
you talked about something else, like the newest, coolest pop star
iPhone.
or whatever, iPhone,
Yeah.
I'd be like, wow, grandma's really that old?
But this is an age-old saying. You're only as young as you feel. That's like,
Yeah.
everybody said that. Like the secret to youth is like, I still have 16 in my heart. as you-
at 80 years old.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Watch me
no.
pick up this rock. Danny, that was your opportunity to feel young right there, is to heft one of those boulders over your head and get your whole family out there to watch you do it.
Children, come out here now. See your father. I'm
I
as
can
young
still
as I
lift.
feel.
Yeah. My grandpa, still alive, used to do that.
See, he's still alive. He stuck it out because
He's like
had the
95.
mentality of a young person.
You'd go over to his house when he was like 85, and you'd look over and he'd have a boulder like bigger than his head, and he'd have it like struggling over his
I think
head.
it's
He's
a
like,
jackhammering away.
no, and he'd be like, look what I can lift. And I was like, Grandpa,
But
you
look,
have to
it's
put
worked.
that
You've
rock
only
down.
proven this study accurate,
Yeah.
Tyson, with your story of your two different grandparents and the one that was lifting boulders. And I guess that's a young way of acting. He's
Yeah.
still alive. He'll
He
probably
also
outlive
puts-
you.
He also puts Vaseline on his face every day. Well,
Why?
it's actually udder butter, which is used specifically on cow udders. He puts
Yeah.
it on his face to keep his skin, and his skin does
How does it
look
look?
vibrant. It looks vibrant, but I was like, I would
Maybe I should
probably
do
have.
that.
No, I think we'd have so much acne if we just covered our faces in.
This guy needs to write a book. Boulder
Mhm.
lifting, udder juice,
Uh-huh.
whatever it is. He's wiping on his
Udder
face.
butter.
Udder
Uh-huh.
butter.
Who is this? Is your grandfather?
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my grandfather.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And he looks good, and he's got the Vaseline. Now, I
Mhm.
would be careful though, like putting so much Vaseline on your face and then trying to pick up a boulder every day. I feel like that's a
Yeah.
recipe for disaster.
I don't think
eventually.
he does either of those things. I think he does the Vaseline thing still, but I don't think he does the boulder thing anymore.
Mhm.
You know what? Covering yourself in Vaseline, I think, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
might not be a
that's the
bad
sound of you.
strategy.
Yeah.
Is because doesn't it thwart fire and
Udder
also
butter
keep
is called
you
bad
warm?
bomb. That's
Does
right.
it? I think it's very flammable. I think it's the opposite.
Is it? Well, I thought
What?
like, you covered your face in Vaseline like as a stuntman, and then when you're doing
Oh,
the
is that
crazy
true?
fire thing. That's what I thought. And then also, I know when people jump into cold water, they'll cover
Yeah.
themselves in.
I don't know.
Vaseline.
What's
Yeah.
yeah.
When I would jump in cold water as a swimmer, if we'd ever do any open water swimming, we'd cover our bodies in Vaseline.
That's just being prepared. Every
Yeah.
morning, I coat my body in Vaseline to fight fire in cold water.
True.
That's my life strategy. Life hack.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Life hack.
So the study was done that this is from the German Center of Gerontology. They had 5,000 participants all over the age of 40, and they asked them about their perceived levels of stress. And then they constantly asked them questions like, how do you feel?
This is a great survey because no one has more time for a survey than an old
Mhm.
person.
Mhm.
So this is
Yeah.
accurate.
So
Yes.
you think this is fairly accurate?
I think so. I think finally you're reaching a wide enough audience to give this credence.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah. Danny, what's your perceived level of stress?
Right now, near
Currently
zero.
in this moment.
Near zero.
Near zero.
Yeah.
But what about when you go to bed and wish you had more?
More stress?
No.
Why would I want more stress? More what?
More money, more free time.
I don't care
more
about the money thing.
helicopters,
I don't care
more-
about the free time.
more helicopters.
When I lay to bed at night, most nights my stress is near zero.
Whoa.
What about for your kids? If your kids are getting bullied
Well,
at school
I don't have
or anything
my kids
like that.
still have kid problems, which aren't necessarily stress inducing.
Okay.
So yeah, still not at zero when it comes to the kids. It's a little bit higher, maybe like at a scale of 0 to 10, like a 3 for my kids.
Okay.
For my front yard, which
What
is currently
about-
in shambles, is like a 3.
What about, do you ever think about like financially, where are you going to be in 20 years? Do you have a retirement plan set up? What if your
No,
mom's like,
no.
I just want Danny to
Danny,
earn on his
look,
own.
Sell
giving him
the
anything.
jackhammer.
I rented the
You
jackhammer.
need to
You can't
retire.
rent a jackhammer. You have to pay for it in cash. Otherwise, you're just buying somebody else's jackhammer for
You're
him.
paying for somebody else's jackhammer.
Guys, this
to
is
buy
the
your
greatest
own
advice
jackhammer.
you've given.
Saving up to buy your own.
I should have bought my own
Used.
jackhammer.
You do not jackhammer the rocks until you have enough cash that
I should have sold
2% of your income can afford the jackhammer.
I should have sold half the rocks to get the jackhammer to jackhammer the other half of the rocks. A perfect solution.
There you go.
So no, I you know what would stress me out? Probably
Mhm.
a lot. Probably like near a 10 is if I
Yeah.
had an injury. That would take me
that'll do it.
instantly to like
And that'll
a
make
9.
you feel old too.
Like what
Yes.
kind of injury? Like an injury where you're not sure you're going to recover, or an injury just that puts you on the couch for a little while?
Either. I think both of
Really?
those would freak me out. I
Well,
had
I
an injury. I've had an injury for like 2 years. It's just kind of like there. And that doesn't stress
Have you
me
tried
out.
hymns?
I don't- what are the explain hymns? It sounds like a pill, like an ED pill. What is
Okay.
this?
It's an ED pill.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know what it was, but hymns. I thought maybe it might be a type of like underwear as well. But
Like half the podcast, probably more than half the podcasts I listen to advertise that
Mhm.
stuff,
Yeah.
which I guess puts me in a certain demo. I fell down playing-
you want to know what makes you feel old is your targeted ads where
Yeah.
they're all about going
Yeah.
bald, gray hair, ED. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, when did I cross this threshold from cool things like alcohol,
Sure.
and,
Yeah.
you know, like sports stuff, and now it's like all ED, life insurance.
Yeah. Not too
Uh,
late to invest.
Yeah, not
I got this. See that my knee hair's got blood all over it. I fell down playing pickleball yesterday.
Oh my God. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
you
I mean,
probably
my
feel
pride's
young
hurt.
though. Due to pickleball, that probably keeps you young.
It does keep me young. I feel surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, I feel better than I have because after we had kids, I really didn't exercise that much and didn't do anything like on regular increments. I still would go running and doing adventures with Danny and stuff, but not. I mean, we were going out, maybe not every day, but like 3 times a week, probably, right, Danny? 3 or 4 times
Yeah.
a week.
Sounds right.
Before I had kids. And then after kids, Danny was like, come on, you just ignore their lives and keep adventuring. And I was like, I wanted to also experience my children's lives. And Danny's like, you're weird, man.
This is not, I hang out with my
Can't believe you
kids.
said
Why do
that,
we have to be
Danny.
over this all the time?
Yeah.
I hang out with my kids probably way more than most dads.
It's
I
not
take
a
them
contest,
on trips.
Danny.
Yeah.
It feels
come
like
on,
a
Danny.
contest whenever Tyson's talking about it. He makes me sound like a neglectful parent.
Mhm.
It's just part of the shtick for the podcast, Danny. Can't you just
Okay,
admit
all right.
you're a bad dad on the podcast just for Just
This
for
is
the
permanent.
viewers.
They'll be playing this 1,000 years from
I
now.
know they will.
Hmm.
And so I got to make sure the record is correct.
Let
or
the
at
record
least
show
reasonable.
Danny's a good dad. Yeah.
I didn't say
Um,
good dad. I said an
yeah.
okay dad.
But he's adequate.
Adequate.
Above
Adequate.
average.
Yeah.
He knows 2 of his 3 children very well. And
That's
their
pretty good.
backgrounds. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Let's talk about. We have been planning, for some future date, the next News AF live event. Might I suggest the Japanese town of Noto, where, in an effort to boost tourism,
Mhm.
they have recently erected a 13-meter long pink squid.
How did they pay for this pink squid? With what funds?
So
did
they did it with, it looks like, government money that was allocated for coronavirus relief.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the thing, dude, because you know that the virus is terrified of squid.
Squid.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's interesting they're building something for tourists when tourists still can't go to the place.
Well, they got to get the tourists coming back.
Well, first they have to get rid of. They should have spent that towards research. So
No, they should have spent it on gold chains. We've already discussed this, that if the government is funding anything, you got to get gold chains.
When have we discussed gold chains
I said
bought
that
by government funding?
I said that for our stimmy checks, we should all buy the exact a gold
I
chain
do
that
remember
is
that.
worth the exact amount of the check sent to us, and then we could show them off on the
Well,
camera.
we could each
here.
get a squid, although the squid was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
How much was the squid?
164,000 pounds.
Okay.
That's like
So-
$75 now.
No, it's like a what I would say like $185,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when the pound used to be worth double the dollar?
Yeah, you'd go.
Go to
That's-
England and just get raped.
Hey, I like to transfer this dollar to pounds. They're like, okay, here's $100, and okay, here's 45 pounds.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like,
what do you expect me to do with this? I'm going back
Exactly,
to
dude.
I can exchange this for $100 and go back to America.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Man, those were hard times.
Now you can buy 13-meter squids for only slightly more.
Yes.
than-
So-
you know.
Perfect.
Do you feel like that the giant squid will boost tourism? Do people want to come and take selfies in front of the giant squid?
Not this squid.
Yes.
I don't know if you can show a picture of it, but it's not it's not like cool or anything.
Did they get like real squid scent to gush all over this regular?
Oh, that would be sweet if it's squirted stuff out.
Well, no,
Is that what you're
just
saying? Oh.
the odor of squid. You want this
Oh.
whole thing to
Well,
just
I
like
think it's right by the
permeate.
water.
Oh, so it's gonna smell like squid anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Yeah.
you guys see the picture of it?
Yeah. I'll bring up the picture.
Don't
Here
you
we go.
agree?
Picture.
It's not a great squid. It's like be creative. Do like a cool squid. This
Yeah.
is pretty
For
kid-like
100,000,
squid.
it's pretty cool.
No,
Do they
Mhm.
allow you to climb on it and stuff?
that
I don't
guy's
think
running
so.
away from it.
Yeah.
So I think that squid is actually pretty decent. I like it, but I think you could have put in like an alpine slide or something for that price, right?
Hmm.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson might know the answer to this. Is that
Probably do.
squid, is he looking forward? Like, are the tentacles behind him? And is that thing kind of like his nose? Or is he looking tentacles in front of him and he's looking at his tentacles?
The tentacles are in front of him usually if he's
Okay.
grabbing, but he can swim the other direction. So he uses his tentacles to propel himself one direction, but he
Yeah.
also uses that direction. And because his tentacles are open like that,
You
I'm
can see the
assuming he's going-
confusion with its stupid eyes. Like, which way is it looking? Maybe it's not bound by human.
He's
eye
looking
laws.
forward towards the tentacles because his tentacles are open.
But if he's
like
propelling
capturing
himself-
prey. He's not propelling himself. He's
But
capturing his
when
prey.
he propels himself,
Yeah.
he's not looking forward.
Correct.
You see my confusion?
He's looking backward.
I'm trying to.
Hmm.
It's just like maybe pick a lane when it comes to
Yeah.
eyes.
No,
Danny,
the mouth is in the center of the tentacles. I think
Okay.
actually squid and octopus only have one hole in and one hole out. Somebody in the chat might want to correct me if I'm wrong. And it's right there in the center of all their tentacles. So when they eat, they grab like that. But when they move, they use these to push like that.
Mhm.
So that's it.
Okay.
Danny, do you have any suggestions for what other cities around the world might want to build statues of?
You know, I was thinking about this. There's no cool monuments, right? But like, I'm sure there are. But
Have you ever
it
been to
used to
Washington,
be-
D.C.?
we're fascinated by.
Yeah. What about that RoboCop statue we
Yeah,
talked
Yeah,
that
about?
dude,
kind
in
of stuff. That's
Detroit.
what I'm talking about. Those
Rocky.
are cool. Those
Mhm.
are cool. I don't need to see another obelisk. All right, we've done the obelisk thing. Let's move on to cooler statues like RoboCop. How much did RoboCop cost? That's probably within this budget, right?
I think the problem was it wasn't so expensive as it was. It took a long time to make.
it's
So you
way
think like
better than a squid.
Oakland should build a statue of Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco bashing elbows
Yeah.
into each
Oh,
other.
I thought you were going to say fighting with bats. That kind of like trying to hit each other in like full bat attack mode.
No. Oh, because
No.
now they probably don't get along. But when they were the Bash brothers banging elbows and shooting up behind the scenes, just like partying like crazy.
That would still be a better statue than a squid. Like, why
Take us
isn't the
back to
squid
the golden era.
attacking someone? Or just like, let's get creative.
Yeah.
This is a dumb
Do
squid.
you think he
just
should have
laying
like
on
a
the ground.
sailor in each hand? Like,
Yes,
that would
yes.
be okay,
One
that'd
of
be
them
more
is
epic.
torn in
Yeah.
half. Like one tentacle has the torso, the other one has the legs, and like you get close to it, it motion senses stuff and squirts fake blood at you. Like that would be a cool statue, just like this pink and white squid laying on the ground
Yeah.
with its googly
A little
eyes.
basic. A little basic.
Yeah.
I
Be
mean, but
creative.
it looks
It's not
like
even
it's
your
like,
money.
that looks like it's kind of like a playground installation.
I don't
Yeah.
think so. Look, if someone gives you money and they're like, you'll never have to pay this back. Do what you want. That's when you go crazy on your
Gold
art.
chains. Oh,
That's
art.
not what you do with free money, Danny.
Wait, Dave Ramsey. I think the better quote would be, "No money's free.
No,
There's no
money
such thing.
is free.
There's no such thing as free money."
And if you spend your money on a squid statue, then you might as well get a pyre in your backyard and just cover that in Vaseline and just set it ablaze.
I think there's better ways to spend $164,000. I think Dave Ramsey would agree, even if it didn't, if it had to be spent, then
Mhm.
there's better ways. Get some kind of return on investment. There's just nothing here for anyone. A dumb squid laying on the ground. I bet this squid cost $25,000 to make, and then whoever came up with this idea pocketed the
Mark
remaining
it up.
130,
Yeah,
whatever.
the artist
Yeah.
and the guy who drew it up, and I mean that's a process. It's art.
Okay. Let's switch things up and talk about a work pizza party gone awry in the UK. Speaking of pounds, so there is a woman who worked at a car dealership up until January 2019, and this car dealership had Pizza Fridays. Sounds like a good idea. I feel like I worked at a company once that had a Pizza Friday.
Okay. We had that at my house growing up.
Yeah. So, all right, Pizza Friday. But it turns out that this woman, for whatever reason, was excluded from Pizza Friday.
If her friend number wasn't already around too, I bet after this lawsuit, it will be pretty close.
Yeah.
You just not. This isn't how you ingratiate yourself with the rest of the employees. Lawsuits are never a way to bring people together.
She wasn't invited to Pizza Friday, and she filed a lawsuit about being deliberately excluded as part of a campaign of victimization.
I'd like to.
And-
Oh, sorry. go ahead.
Yes.
I'm just curious what I wish that we could find out what else she had dealt with to really be able to comment on this. You'd want to find out if the victimization was real or just perceived. Like, what did they do before excluding her? I'd like to have more information.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what else they did to her. But she was not asked where she would like to order the food from. And she said that they did not include her. She wasn't invited to the company-wide lunch, which took place on the last Friday of every month. And the employment tribunal has awarded her £23,000.
Tribunal sounds so
Pounds
aggressive.
again?
Yeah, $32,000 basically.
Wow.
They went around taking lunch orders and skipped her
Yeah.
Mhm.
for the lunch.
Well, they didn't invite her to the company lunch.
And,
Yeah, so why take her order, right?
and are we certain that this was on purpose every time? I mean, it sounds like it has to be,
know.
though.
We don't know.
Sounds
That
pretty
also,
blatant.
yeah,
Anybody else get excluded?
well, also she, on a serious note, that years earlier she made a complaint about sexual discrimination at the workplace, and so that there is some question of was this retribution?
Well, also they say the judge said it was part-time worker discrimination, which I kind of get. Like, hey, they're not here all the time. They're not
Yeah.
one of us. You know,
Yeah.
we're
And
here.
those
They don't
part-timers,
enjoy all the
They
perks.
always happen to be there for Pizza Friday.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's when they decide to show up. Those
Mhm.
part-timers
They'll-
for Pizza
You
Friday.
have a part-timer, they'll be there for Pizza Friday.
Where
I
are
had
you
a-
when we need to fill out the reports? Nowhere. But Pizza Friday.
I had a part-time job once, and my boss, aka my father,
Mhm.
came to me and said, "We can get you on the insurance if you work just 5 to 10 hours more a week." And I politely declined.
It's
'Cause
one
that-
more hour a day.
Yeah, the too much, right?
Mm.
I don't
Okay.
know. What were you doing at work? Every time I visited you, you were just sitting in an air-conditioned office on your computer. Okay. All right.
Danny.
Sorry. Did they exclude you from pizza parties though because of your part-time status?
No, I got to go to the pizza parties for sure.
That would just be awkward for why wouldn't you invite them? That to me, not would be just as
It's-
awkward as having them there.
More awkward.
They're probably
it's just-
cheaping out on the pizza.
and it's not a winning. They didn't pick a winning situation here by not inviting her. Now look what
Mhm.
she can have pizza every Friday by herself
Mhm.
for years to come with that money.
Yeah. I got one more story before we get to Danny's Bolt Hall, and this is a wild story from this week involving an Ohio state senator who was part of a some legislation that was considering a bill cracking down on distracted drivers. So that he was working on this legislation cracking down on distracted drivers for this virtual meeting, which he called in on Zoom, to which he used a virtual background of his house to obfuscate the fact that he was operating his car.
He made one huge mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, lots of little mistakes, but one really big mistake. Do you know what that
Yes.
was? Did you watch the video?
I did watch the video. Yes.
He crashed his car.
No.
No.
He had
His
his seatbelt on.
seatbelt was
Seatbelt.
on.
Too safe.
I'm like, that to me was his biggest mistake because the background kept changing, you know, like it will
A little bit. It'll
a little
shift
bit,
a little bit.
but
yeah.
he could have gotten away with that, you know, if everybody was distracted by other things. But the seatbelt, come on,
Mhm.
dude, is this
Yeah.
your first time zooming from a car? Well, all of us know how to do it.
He says he wasn't distracted during the Zoom call. He says, I was paying attention to the driving and listening to it. I had 2 meetings that were back to back and in separate locations. Actually, I've been on numerous calls while driving, phone calls for the most part, but on video. I'm not paying attention to the video. To me, it's like a phone call. I think the bigger giveaway is that he had his virtual background be his house. He was trying to get away with something.
Yeah, he was. That's screams guilty right there. The
The worst thing you could do when getting caught doing something wrong is admit to doing it a bunch before that and using that to justify your poor behavior. And this can't be bad. I do it all the time. This is
Mhm.
hardly my first meeting in a car while I'm driving.
Mhm.
I mean-
my
You just incriminated yourself.
I was on a Zoom call with Michael Cera. You know
Yes.
him, the actor, and
Yes.
he had a funny background because he had
Dude,
where he was
you've told
sitting.
this story like 5 times.
Hey, look,
Everyone knows.
Danny, if you
Tell
had
me,
a Michael
tell me,
Cera story, you
tell
tell
me.
it 5 times too.
Tell
He
me,
kept changing it from daytime to nighttime.
yes, and that's what this guy should have done. Maybe he didn't have the right time of day as his home background.
I don't think anybody would care like what time of day. It's everybody knows it's a fake background.
But why have a fake background of your home unless it's a joke? That's where he got is them being like, I can tell that's fake.
How
but
did they know it was his house?
So because they've probably been on other
Well, then that makes
calls
it
with him.
that much more sense. That's what he's trying to convince him, is that he's at home.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's convincing him that he's at home, but they're saying they can see that because you can see the fake background, like when you like lift a hand and your hand's not there because it's part of the background, and there's like so many things. Plus the fact that
Did you see any of the video, Tyson?
I didn't.
Here, let me bring it up so you can see what's going on here. So that the one thing he did do right is that he has cropped the steering wheel out of the camera.
Okay.
So he has the camera pointed at him where you can't see the steering wheel, but like he doesn't have like a green screen. He's just using like a Zoom background here of his house.
So you're saying that Tesla needs to create a car with full green interior?
Yeah, that might actually work better for him. Okay, so here, let me go ahead and show you this. Let me pop this out so you can see what we're looking at. Okay, so he's going to be in just a portion of the screen, so you can take a look at this. Okay. All right. So here he is. This is the guy over here, center right. See if you noticed anything about his Zoom background, Tyson. Okay, so here he is. So there he is at his house.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
Well, that's the start of the call
right there.
Okay,
And he's looking around.
Screen.
The best is that he's looking around.
Oh, he hears unusual noises outside. Look at how, dude, he thinks he's gotten away with it. Look at that face.
Yeah, he knows. He's good. Andrew Brenner, classic Andrew Brenner.
The finest politician in the state of Ohio. Or wherever it is. Yeah, Ohio.
Look, he went for it.
He went for it.
Yeah.
He wouldn't do a squid if he was given
do you think if he wasn't
$170,000?
wearing his seatbelt, he would have gotten away with it? And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for those pesky.
It would have been enough.
laws.
It would have been confusing enough where maybe no one would have called him out.
Yeah, nobody would have been for certain.
Yeah,
like I think.
Yeah. This also comes on the heels of back in February when a Sacramento plastic surgeon dialed into Zoom traffic court while in the middle of operating on a patient. So people are trying to get away with more stuff on Zoom.
Yeah, they are. Is there going to be a new rule book for Zoom and new laws created because of Zoom?
I mean, it's catfishing basically, right? If you're trying to say you're someplace where you're not.
Is catfishing against the law?
If you're trying to get something from someone, it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
I don't know. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
Danny.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if Danny wants to take us to the Bolt Hall, Tyson, you got anything else?
Well, I was just going to try and come up with the most ironic Zoom call, because this is pretty good. Like talking about distracted driving while driving on a Zoom call. Is there something even better?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would be sort of like, the priest was like, green screening, like, oh, I'm just at the church, but is really like at Caligula. Yeah.
Caligula. Dude, that would be hard to do a Caligula fake, because all the people passing in the background in chains and leather would just be, it would like cause the screen to pop in and out. Plus the buffet, they like, you have a buffet at the church. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I think that I saw some news stories about the speaking of the raging NYC elite sex parties. Guess what? They are about to be back. Secret masked orgy for 80 guests is happening, I believe, this Friday or Saturday. Mark your calendar.
Oh, I've already got it marked. Doctors in the area are preparing their
Sanctum is back to host the Super VIP Sex Fest for a hand-selected 80 guests. So who's who of the NYC sex party elite, set in a luxurious 3-storied penthouse in downtown Manhattan. The soiree's invite describes the event as a non-parlay experience with fabled erotic theater and the opportunity to explore personal desires
Sounds
without
like you're
judgment.
reading an ad.
Yeah, that's coming. It's coming this Saturday.
That's great.
Big
You know what?
return. First sanctioned orgy after the pandemic.
This is why.
America is back.
This is why when I'm walking around and I see people, I just imagine like, what were they doing right before I saw them? And all these people are going to leave in the morning and someone's going to walk by and they're going to lock eyes. And that stranger will have no idea that this person was at the most exclusive sex party in the city. It's just one of those things. You don't know where the people have been that you pass by on the street. Like, it's wild to think about.
You want to know how much it is to get in? This is interesting. So the admission fees
$6,900.
Close, yeah. So it's $1,500 for a first-time couple, and then how much do you think it is for a returning couple?
500?
No, it's more.
That's an interesting pricing structure. How much?
Rob just left.
Whoa. He's gone. What do we do?
He's back.
I hit the bell and I banged the keyboard.
Dude,
Out of
you
rage?
were so excited
I
about
was
this story.
that it costs more
How much?
to return.
How much?
$2,250. And a VIP table is $8,000.
You know, that kind of does make sense.
Yeah.
You're trying to get fresh blood.
Yeah, get some new people. You don't
You
want
get
the
some
same
new
old, same old.
faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets boring.
Yeah.
And and then once they get a taste for the sweet, sweet orgy buffet life, it's like now you got them roped in.
Mm-hmm.
$2,200. Tyson loves this pricing structure, right? Tyson, first taste is free. Well,
Yep.
almost free.
Almost free. And then you get them in.
You're paying for somebody else's orgy. Okay. That is not the right way to go. Save your money. Host
Have
your
your
own.
Own orgy.
Okay. All right. Are we ready for the bolt hole?
Yes, we are. Save your money
Okay.
for your own
I am.
boat hole.
Okay, here we go. Danny, open bolt hole.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong. I'm not
Does it count as a returning couple if you come back with a different person?
You're just
Man.
wondering what kind of pricey discount you'll get.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You show up
Yeah.
again with someone else.
Yeah. They split the difference. Like, hey, it's a new couple. This is not
we
the
are
same
a brand
person.
new couple. It's technically a brand new couple because
Yeah.
it's two. Even though one of you is the same, both of you are not.
Yeah, what
Man.
well, what if like does it go by the person? Like what if you and another person like swap partners like the day before to get into this, like you're pre-gaming,
I like how much you're thinking about this. I feel like
figuring out all the angles.
yeah, you've got to.
Once he found out it was in his price range, he's like, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe.
Okay.
It's exclusive, but Rob can get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there no
Rob
kids
King.
there? Yeah, let me think about it.
I'm going. If there's no kids, I'm going. Is that what you're?
Okay. All right. So, Danny, what's in the bolt hole?
Yeah,
Lots-
tell us.
Lots of people looking to get high in this
On
these
life
days.
or what?
What's this?
just
Like
high.
in an airplane? Like a hot air balloon?
Maybe all those things get you high. Maybe they're legalizing weed in certain states, and
Mhm, Sure.
Heard that.
everyone's looking for the next way to escape the reality that is 2021.
Mhm.
And the sun, the U.S. sun, has introduced me to something I didn't even know existed, and that is getting high, eating rotten raw meat.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Okay.
You saw this?
People are eating meat to get a buzz.
Gross.
Okay, so many things about meat confuse me. Like people talk about aging meat, right? Like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, this meat's been. My neighbor, after he would shoot a deer, would age the deer in his garage with his dogs and all of his car mechanic stuff.
Mhm.
In his garage would be the carcass of this deer just hanging there out in the open. He was
Delicious.
aging it. I just don't understand how meat works. So I always thought like you wanted to get meat right away and
Fresh
eat it right
meat.
away.
Yeah, that's the
But
idea.
so- I guess that you can basically like
Yeah.
let meat just sit there and collect mold because that's what they're eating. They're eating meat with slimy gray mold.
Yeah. When you go to like a nice restaurant though, they just say like, "Oh, our steaks have been aged." So I don't know how that
Yeah.
works. So that
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
seem-
what I'm saying. The meat mystery, the mystery of meat.
I think
It hasn't been solved for me.
I think it makes it more tender if it's aged properly, but I also do not know the ins and outs of meat.
But I guess that you can eat this meat. And
No,
it's
you can't
funny-
eat
No,
it.
hold on. Let me finish. It's funny because the doctor they interview for this says that it can cause at worst, it can cause serious illness, severe tummy pain, vomiting, diarrhea, and dehydration. Those to me sound like that
Are
could happen to you
terrible.
just by eating, at any given time, eating out, getting something bad. I would have thought if you ate moldy meat with visible mold and a slimy surface, you would die. Like that's what I expected to happen. But people are willing to eat moldy meat to get high, and then they're just getting a bit of diarrhea. I don't know. That just seems like
How bored are people?
how many people have moldy meat sitting around?
And how many people who discovered this first and who was like,
So they claim it goes back to an Inuit thing of eating kiviak, I guess, and it's a seal's carcass stuffed with whole birds and left to ferment.
Mhm.
Hmm.
yeah,
Um,
if you told me that and we're like, I'd be like, yeah, I'm never going to try that.
But they say it's different because they use yogurt and alcohol and sauerkraut. Wait, they use some kind of other thing to protect it. It's very different from
Antibacterial.
rotting.
Yeah.
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 I'm out. I'm
out of both of
No,
them.
thank you.
Yeah. I don't want the moldy meat,
Yeah.
and I also don't want the seals stuffed with bird carcasses.
Yeah.
This person says that they have mason jars that they fill with meat or chicken and
Yeah.
it sits in the fridge for a few weeks and then they eat it. I get an immediate high. Rotten meat is the best cure for depression. You want to know why? Because whenever you think your life is really bad and then you get super sick and you have diarrhea for 3 days, life
I'm
doesn't seem
happy to
so
be alive.
bad
Yeah.
Yeah.
once the diarrhea has subsided.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or-
you look a little trimmer. Your face is gaunt,
Yeah.
just the way you always wanted
You've
it.
got that body all ready for the swimsuit season.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Man,
Right.
This just shocked me. Again, I don't understand how meat works,
Danny,
but supposedly
if you had to, would you rather smoke a joint or eat a raw meat sandwich?
well,
I mean, Danny once ate a sandwich with bird poop on it.
I did,
know.
but I didn't get high at all. I think that you can
Hmm.
you can skirt some of the rules of drug use by eating rotten meat. There's no I don't remember the law, but there's no prohibition against
definitely
meat
Your friend list is definitely shrinking.
going
if you're-
down.
Yeah,
if
you're
it's
eating
not
raw
at
meat.
2 by the time you're storing rotten meat and eating
In
on a
your
regular
fridge.
basis.
What's in this jar? Is that some type of science experiment? No, I'm going to eat that in 4 weeks. Oh, but you're going to cook it first? That's interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm not cooking it. I'm just taking a bite of raw chicken.
This
It
guy
hits so high.
considered
Yeah.
the taste overwhelming and spicy. Yeah, no kidding.
Spicy.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
Oh, do you eat this on the toilet or do you just eat it in the
Hmm.
bathroom?
This is making
Yeah.
me sick.
Yeah. If Danny wanted to eat some bacteria laden food, he'd head
Uh-huh.
back to the hot soup bar.
seriously, maybe that's why I was so addicted to hot soup.
Yeah, you got
was
that,
giving you a
tasting that
high.
high.
I
Yeah.
think it was more of a danger high, though, that Danny was getting, where he's like, this could be bad.
Kind
And
of
then,
like going to Caligula,
Yeah.
living on the edge.
or bungee jumping, you know,
Yeah, very similar.
all
Yeah.
similar feeling.
So rotten meat is for me then, because I'm kind of like rolling the dice.
Yeah. You're like,
Will
am I
I
going to
get
get deathly
diarrhea?
ill? Will
Yeah.
I feel better? I trust that I will get a high. I don't know. I'm going to discourage our listeners from.
Yeah, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. All right.
Oh, definitely
Um,
don't do it.
Okay. Anything else on the raw meat? Or we're good? Or you think we're good here?
No, I think we've got the raw.
I
I'm
think
just
we
like
got
a
it. We got
the
PSA,
gist
right?
of it.
Don't
We got
don't
it.
eat it. Don't,
Yeah,
don't
don't do
eat
this,
that.
guys.
All right. Danny,
Modern day toad lickers.
yeah. Well, what do you have coming up this week besides eating only fresh meat?
Only the freshest of fresh meat will be
Mhm.
consumed.
Get all
Although
that
beef
protein.
jerky probably isn't very fresh.
Mhm.
What is beef jerky? Is that like
It's cured.
cured?
cured?
Okay.
Like
What does
the-
that mean? That sounds
There
like
was,
a fancy
there was
term.
diseases and they've cured it.
It's cured is dried, but then they also when you buy regular beef jerky, not like homemade beef jerky, besides it being dried, they also salt it and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, if you saw the process, you probably would become vegan immediately. But
I've been to a meat processing plant.
and
How was that?
Let's just say that while I was there, they opened up this trap door that went to the street level and lowered in a really disgusting looking carcass. It was an experience I think everyone should have once, because
That's why
you'll
you
never
like
forget
meat
it.
so much.
to
I'm all
determine,
horse meat.
Yeah.
to determine how many Slim Jims would you say you've eaten in your life?
I would probably say less than 200,
Okay.
but more. Yeah, less than 200, more than 50. It's hard to say. I don't mind Slim Jim. I sometimes buy that beef jerky that comes with the thing of cheese as well, because I feel really fancy when I eat that. It's like a charcuterie.
The cheese and meat. Yeah, it's like a charcuterie. Okay.
I'm like, I'm so European. I've got both unwrapped and put it in my mouth
At the same time.
simultaneously.
Oh, yeah, they pair well
So-
with each other.
Yeah, I'm so cultured. This will go great with some milk.
Mhm.
But yeah, I've got adventure planned. I'll probably go to Oregon and do something maybe tomorrow. I saw a bear yesterday.
That was cool. I saw that
Yeah.
video.
And then yeah, just working on stuff, reviews, gear reviews,
Mhm.
other videos.
What kind
Trying
of
to
gear are you
do stuff.
reviewing?
Well, I was just looking at all my videos and I noticed that I review shoes, running shoes, backpacks, clothing, skis, bindings, stuff like that. But really,
Yeah.
running bags, people seem to want to
Learn
watch
more.
those videos. Yeah, so that's what I'll be doing. YouTube, Instagram stuff. Just trying to keep things interesting, Rob.
TKMG's in the chat. Are these Richard Gere reviews, Danny?
Yeah, they Richard
Dude.
Gere reviews.
I wish I would have named my channel. I could probably rename it. You get like one rename a year. Maybe I should change it to Richard Gere Reviews.
Mhm.
That's great.
I mean,
Gosh,
yeah.
I should always consult our viewers for better ideas because I feel like mine are like basement level ideas, but they're going to come up with something great.
Richard Gere. Yeah, that would be great. I am going to be in Utah in a couple weeks.
Yes.
At a place in Ogden, Utah called the Pickler, and it's free to come.
The Pickler.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's indoor pickleball courts. They're giving us the entire facility to host meetups, meet and greet with me. If you've never learned how to play pickleball, that's okay. I'm going to bring some paddles. If you just want a picture with me or, have a conversation, that's fine too. Show up, have fun. There's going to be some
Buffet?
food trucks there. There'll be
Oh.
food trucks. Yeah.
Okay.
And Danny, I'm inviting you to come. People have
Oh.
asked if you're going to be there. But
So
even
far
if not,
away.
I know. And you don't have any means of getting there faster than a
I don't want to drive.
yeah. Well, you don't have access to a helicopter. So and I'll be there for
Yes.
almost a week. So maybe you and Matt can come up with a Nature with Tyson adventure we can go do together.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's so much nature around here,
That's what I want.
like
Let's
all
go.
over the place.
Let's go
Mhm.
explore some nature.
Go find some bears.
So
Okay.
yeah, I want to see some bears.
Okay.
I mean, we saw that one bear in
In the
the Tetons,
Tetons. Yep.
but it had a collar on it, so that doesn't count. I don't want to find a bear with a collar on it
Yeah, and
wanna-
he didn't seem to care about humans at all. Like
at
he
all.
probably could have jumped on his back and
Yeah.
ridden it.
I want one to care about me.
Okay, we'll find a bear that cares.
Hey, or a mountain lion.
A mountain lion that cares.
Yeah.
Come out and see Tyson. See if you can max out his brain's total number of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, create that
Somebody's
list.
getting bounced.
You think?
I think somebody's going to get bumped. Send them a
Huh.
text.
Okay. I'll have to. I mean,
Hmm.
clearing out my contacts. Just wanted to know if you still wanted to be on here or not. That's a thing, guys. That is a thing.
You got to respond, right?
No.
I don't think
sometimes
I
I don't.
respond. I don't think I
Yeah.
respond.
I'm like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
It's like
Got a
when
lot going
people
on.
are like, I'm leaving Facebook for good. If you want to catch me somewhere else, catch me somewhere else. And you're like, okay,
See you
see
later.
you back on Facebook in a week and a half.
Yeah.
Or 2 days. when you get major FOMO and realize that your entire life is lived out on social media.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's coming up. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully get some adventures in with the boys.
That's with a Z.
Yep, that is with a Z. That's how
I thought it was
pronounce
with 2 eyes.
It is
Not
both.
S. Yeah.
BOIIZ.
Z. I like that spelling
Yeah.
way better.
Mhm.
Okay.
And Rob, you the circle's over, right? Don't tell me how it ends.
Circle's over. Just
Mhm.
podcasting, packing. Just, so much fun stuff. We'll be talking about the 20. I think it's the 22nd best season of Survivor. The 19th season of Survivor I watched in 2021. Survivor Marquesas.
Ooh, that's Boston Rob's first
First time out.
first
Yep.
go round.
Yep.
And still no Tyson seasons.
What's the
Still no
location?
seasons.
Marquesas.
Marquesas.
Where's that?
I believe
the South
it's off
Pacific.
of Tahiti.
Oh, that sounds like a great place.
Yeah.
It wasn't that great.
No?
Yeah.
What
There
was the problem? Bugs?
a lot of bugs, not a lot of food. Yeah.
Well, that makes for great TV. Those two things right there,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. So, yeah, very bad mosquito problem.
Wow.
They're called no-nos, they were called. Yeah.
Ooh, the no-nos. The sand flies, or is that
No
the black
CM, I
flies?
think that is the scientific name for them. Yeah.
Sims.
So, yeah, we'll talk about that on Wednesday night here on Rob is a Podcast.
I like it.
Yep. All right. Until then, we'll be back next Tuesday with more News AF. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.
We did it, guys.